SHRADANJALI of Swami Sundaranandaji. We will start with an invocation.
आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो, तुम हो जगत के दाता। स्वामी तुम हो जगत के दाता। तुम ही हो ब्रह्मा, तुम ही हो विष्णु, तुम ही हो शंकर रूपा। आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो, तुम हो जगत के दाता। स्वामी तुम हो जगत के दाता। अज्ञान नाशक शरण संरक्षक, आत्मज्ञान प्रदाता। आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो, तुम हो जगत के दाता। स्वामी तुम हो जगत के दाता। तुम हो जगत के दाता। स्वामी तुम हो जगत के दाता।
बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. So, Swami Sundaranandaji. Swami Sundaranandaji was actually the last direct disciple of Tapovanji Maharaj. Yes, here he is. And he is very special to all of us because he was also the Gurubhai of our Pujya Gurudev. So he has a lot of things to his credit. In fact, he saw the mighty Himalayas through the lens of his camera. He was an avid photographer. He was a great mountaineer. In fact, it is told that he helped many of our Indian Jawans in the mighty Himalayas regions where there are difficult terrains to cross and all that. He helped them cross across. So over to Swami Mitranandaji next to introduce Swami Sundaranandaji to all of us.
Hari Om Namaskaram. As most of you know, Sundaranandaji is the last disciple of Swami Tapovanji Maharaj, the direct disciple. Now what we have is only people who have heard about Tapovanji Maharaj, not who has met Tapovanji Maharaj. And he was also Gurudev's Gurubhai. And there is one video which we will share to you today, wherein you can see what Sundaranandaji has to tell about Gurudev. That is one. But Sundaranandaji, we all know, is a great tapaswin. As a young lad, around the age of 18, he came to the Himalayas, to Tapovanji, and stayed there for 75 years. Imagine someone coming to Himalayas and staying there for 75 years. Great tapaswin. And the most fascinating aspect of Sundaranandaji is what Swami Tapovanji Maharaj has written as Ishwar Darshan in his books. Sundaranandaji could capture it in his photography. What Tapovanji's poetry, he could picturize it with his photography. So it's a very beautiful thing. There was this great teacher, Tapovanji Maharaj, whatever he spoke about Himalayas, what he spoke about Ganga, what he spoke about that terrain, Sundaranandaji could capture it. So if you have to read Tapovanji's books, you must start seeing Swami Sundaranandaji's photographs. This connect would be so beautiful. And imagine going and living in Himalayas for 70 plus years. 70 plus years he lived there. And only in the summers he used to, only in the winters, that too when he was aged, he used to come down to Dehradun, Uttarakasi, etc. Otherwise he was there. But he had this passion for photography. And Swami Sundarananji's photographs are very, very popular. And coming from a spiritual mind, the way in which he looked at Himalayas, the way in which he captured Himalayas are brilliant. His photography is well known, and many a times there were great photo, exhibitions of his, including in Rashtrapati Bhavan. The president and the prime ministers of the country have seen him. And when he made that book, it is Vajpayee, the then president, who wrote the foreword and brought the book out. So his photography is known to a different standard, world standard. And people, BBC has talked about it. That is the kind of photographer who was quite a sadhak, and he was just taking, with a very ordinary camera, he used to take pictures, and that has become world famous, including, like I said, BBC, etc. have captured. This is as far as his photography is concerned. And he was a trekker. Trekked. Many a times I was fortunate to meet him, and then in the conversation he has said once how he fell into a crevice. Now imagine falling into a crevice. You walk upon the icy mountain, and there is a thin ice, you step on it and you go inside the crevice. And when he was inside the crevice, no help. And now you are ready to be frozen to death. And he was like that. And then fellow trekkers who could find him quickly brought him out, and he came out. And the way in which he has gone around the Himalayan terrain, we have missed a gem who knew Himalayas in his palm, and who, like Tapovanji Maharaj, he could also relate to all the Himalayan peaks with the Pauranic references. We hardly have people. We have heard Bhagirath peak, we have heard, different peaks there. But he could identify, this is the Bhagirath peak, which is mentioned in this Purana. This is the Bhagirath peak, or this is the Shivling peak, which is discussed here in Mahabharata. He could connect to us with the actual peaks and the epics and the Puranas, what we have. So to find again another person who knows the Shastric angle as well as the topography of Himalayas is rare. And the man lived. The best part was he lived there alone. Alone. When he reached the age of 85, 86, then by sheer request from others, he allowed someone to assist him. Can you imagine? A person till age of 86 was just there, nobody to help him, all by himself living there. Did not even allow anyone to assist him. There were, I remember sometime late 90s, I said, there are two youngsters with me. They would be willing to serve you, Swamiji. If you allow them, they can be here and take care. He said, not now. I'll ask you later. And he didn't take. And it was somewhere way back. I mean, I'm saying, like 87, 88, around that time, he allowed. And not that he was absolutely healthy. Sometimes there were issues. He had all the problems. He had knee problem. He had heart problem, different things. And pancreas, various things, but never admitted anybody to be. Looking at him, we can understand how severe tapaswin Tapovanji Maharaj was. Looking at Sundaranandaji, we can understand that. Because at that age, Tapovanji Maharaj refused even a pillow. If someone has to give him a pillow, he said, no, I don't want a pillow. I'll stay here without a pillow. Like that, here Sundaranandaji at 85, 86, also of his age, when some even assistance was offered, he was not taking it. And to build a magnificent photo gallery of Himalayas in Gangotri. It's a 5-storied building. 50, 60,000 snaps he had. And I was very fortunate when he first spoke to me, I think way back in the late 90s, he was talking to me about the collection of his photography, where he said he had 55,000 photographs that day. When he said, I said, Swamiji, how are you? The paper by itself will go. The film also after some time. He said, no, I don't know. I said, please accept this laptop. The laptop, what I had, I reset it that very moment and I gave it to him saying, please accept it. tell somebody in Dehradun, your devotees, to scan and save them in this computer. Here, it will be saved better. And he was gracious enough to accept that laptop I gave him. And that was his first laptop in which he started saving the pictures. And later he went on all alone by himself to build that Tapovana Hiranyagarbha, a 5-storied building in Gangotri dedicated to his guru, that is our Parama Guru Tapovanji, and to Himalayas. You can't find a better photographic gallery anywhere else in the world about Himalayas than what is there in Gangotri. It will be very historical. Towards the last bit of his life, last 1 year before, that was inaugurated. And I'm telling you, that will be historic. People who want to know Himalayas will go there to know him. And he was a person of that kind. And personally, for me, it was a very, very, good fortune. I could associate with him for a very long time. And he had a special love for me. One day, I was traveling alone. I stayed there for 3-4 days in Gangotri. The rest of the group who came with me were still in a camp in Uttarakasi. So I was there alone. And one afternoon, I don't know what happened to him. He just came and started, we generally share food, but that day he started feeding me. And for me, it was personally like a contact with Tapovanji Maharaj, somebody coming there and feeding. I remember Gurudev doing this to me once. And here Sundaranandaji comes and literally feeds. So it was a very, very loving relationship I had with him. And this did not happen. He came up to Hyderabad. In the month of January 2020, he came to Hyderabad, January. And February, we got in touch. And he came there and he asked me that he will come and stay in Chennai with us for a while. And then he wanted me to take him to Tapovanji Maharaj's birthplace, Kodal Mannam in Kerala. I said, Swamiji will do it. We said everything was ready. And then the COVID came and the lockdown happened and transport was not possible. So he stayed in Hyderabad for last, I think till August or so he stayed. And there was no way we could take him. I did say that I will come there. Date was fixed. Everything was set. We were to go and then this never happened. And after that, he wanted to go back to Himalayas. And he said, I'll come later. I remember my last conversation with him was when I was driving to Ayodhya. That is the time he reached Dehradun. And I was talking to him. And I told him that I'm going to Ayodhya and all that. And he spoke to him and he said he will come again. Well, Swamiji took a samadhi. And he took a samadhi on 23rd December. Now, for Chinmaya Mission, that day is already special because it is on 23rd. Gurudev gave his first lecture, Let's Be Hindus. And we have one more incident to remember 23rd, that Gurudev's Gurubhai also attained samadhi on that day. Well, I would only say, when things get to normal, please go visit his samadhi in Gangotri. I am planning to do it very soon and see his photographic gallery and see how he maintained Tapovanji's kutia. It is such a sight, that whole ashram. And he will allow few of us to go inside into the last room of that kutia, a wooden hut that was, where Tapovanji used to meditate. Sundaranandaji would allow few of us to go sit there for a while. So that is also a very, very blessed feeling, how he allowed us to be there and how he maintained that kutia. Seeing that kutia itself, we will understand what kind of a life in Gangotri, when the cold was so intense, these people lived. And if you go up the Gangotri, from Gangotri, if you go to Gomukh, and Sundaranandaji, once he told me, he has walked up to Gangotri to Gomukh 108 times. And after that, he lost count. Can you imagine a trekker moving from Gangotri to Gomukh 108 times, and after that he said he lost count. And if you go further from Gomukh, there is a place named after Tapovanji Maharaj that is called Tapovanam. Tapovan. It's the British who named it because they found Tapovanji guiding them on the topography of the Himalayas with the Puranic reference. And if you go a little left from there, there is another peak named after Sundaranandaji. It is called Sundarvan. So Tapovanji and Sundarananda are there in the Himalayas. A peak is dedicated to them. These are the most beautiful aspects of his life. I would suggest to all those who are listening, try to get that copy if you don't have Himalayas through the lens of a sadhu. And then start reading Wanderings in the Himalayas, and then start reading Ishwar Darshan. And as Tapovanji Maharaj writes so poetically, you start seeing his pictures, you will connect much deeper through those images. I have made we have 3 videos for you today. One is what Sundaranandaji speaks about Gurudev. Another one is, there is a beautiful video we saw on his book. And that is also beautiful on his book, the kind of a book. That video we will also be playing to you today. And before that, just after this, end of my talk, you will see a 1-minute video which I made taking pictures on the last day I met him in Gangotri, almost a year, one year, 2 months ago, when he invited us to be there for the inauguration of that Tapovan Hiranyagarbha. We went there. So that was the last day. The pictures I took of that place, including Swamiji, I've just put them for us like an ode to Swami Sundarananda. Radha, you can play the video now. Yeah.
Hari Om. That was so beautiful, right? Now we know we cannot miss this place in life. We will have to go there, to Gangotri, all the way. And here we are here to listen to Sundaranandaji next, what he has to speak.
स्वामी चिन्मयानंद नहीं था उस समय, बालकृष्णन ऐसे नाम। उस समय सोशलिस्ट पार्टी के लीडर थे, जो अंग्रेजों को मार दिए रिवाल्वर से। फिर उनको खोज करते रहे ब्रिटिश पुलिस, पकड़ने के लिए इंटेलिजेंट पुलिस, सब लोग उनके पीछे पड़े थे। ये छिपता रहा। बहुवेशधारी है, कई वेश धारण करते, कभी सिख बन जाता था, कभी साधु बन जाता था, पकड़ में नहीं आता। एक दिन पकड़ में आया, उनको जेल में डाल दिया। जेल में बहुत मारते थे, तो बताते थे, सुई लगाते थे नखून में, इधर बता कहाँ है, जो असला जो बम है वो सब कहाँ बनाते थे, कहाँ छिपा रखा। फिर वो अब बड़ा बुद्धिमान थे, और उनको घुमाने में बहुत होशियार थे। फलाना दिशा में चले जाओ, वहाँ जंगल मिलेगा, वहाँ एक वृक्ष मिलेगा, वो वृक्ष से उत्तर में दिशा में गए ना, वहाँ जाकर खोदना, वहाँ मिलेगा। इतने में 1 महीना लग जाता था उन लोग खोजने में। तब तक कि आराम से रहते थे, तब तक आराम से रहते थे। फिर एक दिन जो मरने वाला था, बहुत ऐसे इन्होंने पुलिस को, इंटेलिजेंस वालों को चक्कर घुमाता था। जब मरने वाला था उनको जेल से बाहर फेंक दिया, लखनऊ की जेल से बाहर फेंक दिया, और पड़ा रहता था, दुबला पतला था। जब शुरू में यहाँ आया था, बाल मेनन ऐसा कुछ नाम था, यूं बड़े बड़े आंख। फिर वो ये कि क्रिश्चियन लेडी उनको देखा, उनको ले गए अपना घर पर, ले जाकर के उनको ठीक ठाक किया। वहीं पर डिवाइन सोसाइटी की एक मैगजीन था, वो मैगजीन पढ़ा, तब वो संन्यास लेने की इच्छा हुई। तब आकर स्वामी शिवानंद के यहाँ संन्यास किया। जब वहाँ नाटक खेला गया, उस नाटक में एक मरीज था, लेडी बना मरीज। फिर डॉक्टर के पास पहुंचते हैं, उस समय जो एक्शन किया है स्वामी शिवानंद बड़ा प्रशंसा करते। खूब एक औरत जैसे नाटक किया करते। उस समय अच्छे महात्मा लोग थे शिवानंद दास में, अब तो कोई नहीं रहा, क्योंकि उनका त्याग तपस्या नहीं रहा। त्याग तपस्या का फल महान होता है, चिरकाल तक जीवित रहता है। जैसे भगीरथ ने जो त्याग किया, तपस्या किया, अभी तक अब क्षुण्ण, ऐसे स्वामी जी के त्याग तपस्या क्षुण्ण रहेगा। कई कहानी बताए थे, जब वो कलकत्ता गए, वो उस समय सन्यासी नहीं बना, वो लेकर उनका सकता था लिखने का, इंटरव्यू लेते थे, नेहरू से भी इंटरव्यू लिया। एक सोने का प्लेट था, सिगरेट, चेन स्मोकर। स्वामी जी पूछते थे कितना अगरबत्ती जलाते हैं रोज? सिगरेट का नाम नहीं लेते। स्वामी जी एक पैकेट खत्म करता, तुम उनको कंट्रोल करो, मैं छिपा देता था। फिर आकर के बड़ा दिए नहीं बनकर एक दे दो, हाथ जोड़ता था, एक निकाल के नहीं बताया। तो फिर कलकत्ता में जा रहे थे, सिगरेट फूंक रहा था, सोने के पेड़ से, टैक्सी में जा रहे थे। वो दूसरे रास्ते में पैसा वाला है, दूसरा, भाई कहाँ ले जा रहे हो? चुप रहो। उन्होंने गर्दन में लात मारा, तो स्टीयरिंग संभाला, तब गया। ऐसे निर्भीक व्यक्ति थे, सोशलिस्ट पार्टी के लीडर थे।
We see that Swamiji has seen the Lord in every iota of creation, every small flower to the big peaks. He's seen the Lord in every bit of his creation. So next we will do the Tapovan Shatakam and then we will observe 1 minute of silence.
व्याप्तं जगत्तेन चिदात्मभावा रज्ज्वायथागिरिचराचरं सन्न्यस्य सर्वं च सदात्मभावे स्वयं समस्तं वयस्तु निस्सङ्गनिर्मुक्तिपदं प्रपद्य ब्रह्मात्मभावेनाजितो श्रीसौम्यकाशीश महेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय अखण्डभाव शिवरूपतत्त्व चिति स्वभाव परमात्म सत्य सत्यस्य सत्य सुधियैकगम्यः परप्रधानात् परमेश्वरो यः आद्यन्तहीनो निरपेक्षतीति स्वतः स्वरूपेण विकुलितो यः श्रीसौम्यकाशीश महेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय मन्तुं न शक्यो मनसा कदाचित् वक्तुं न केनापि तथा न वाचा बोधुं च बुद्ध्यापि तथा न शक्यो बुद्ध्यापि साक्षी खलु केवलो यः सर्वेन्द्रियातीतपदस्थितोऽपि सर्वेन्द्रियप्रेरयिता परो यः श्रीसौम्यकाशीश महेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय शुद्धादिशुद्धं च सदा प्रबुद्धो विश्वेश्वरो विश्वपरप्रसन्नः व्यापी परब्रह्मणि मोदमानो वेदान्तसार सुधियां शरण्यः एको वशी सर्वभूताधिवासः सर्वाधिपः सर्वजीवात्मको यः श्रीसौम्यकाशीश महेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय अशब्दमस्पर्शमरूपवच्च तथा रसंवेद्यमगन्धवच्च निरञ्जनं नित्यनिरीहमेकं बुद्धे परं निर्गुणसद्ध्रुवं च गुह्यं गभीरं गगनोपमम्यं पश्यन्ति निर्धूतमनायतीन्द्राः श्रीसौम्यकाशीश महेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तेजोमयं देव्यममेयशक्तिं सनातनं शान्तमनामयं च अद्वैतमाश्चर्यमचिन्त्यरूपम् परात्परं नित्यमनन्तमाद्यं ज्ञानप्रकाशेन विशुद्धसत्त्वो यं पश्यति स्वात्मनि चिन्त्यमानम् श्रीसौम्यकाशी महेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागेनैकेयमितत्वमानशुः परेण नाकं नीतं गुहायां राजते यत्यतयो विशन्ति वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्था सन्न्यासयोगाद्यतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोकेषु परान्तकाले परामृतात् परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे दहनं विभावं परमेश्वभूतं यत्पुण्डरीकं पुरमद्यसद्गस्तं तत्रापि दहरं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपासितव्यं यो वेदान्तं स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः ॐ न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भाति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
Hari Om. Thank you for joining us today. Jai Gurudev. Sri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Hari Om.